What's up, everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Witcher 2, and last time we figured out the answer to Baltimore's nightmares, riddle, mystery, whatever you want to call it. And, yeah, you know, not so surprisingly, it turned out that his apprentice murdered him. So, yeah, I suppose we kinda saw that coming. I am curious as to what's over here. Yes, it does really seem like it's the mist, but I suppose we were only successful in making it through the mist with Philippa's help, so I guess we do need to pass that up. We did, of course, catch that ship as well, which had some loot in it. And now, apparently, we are supposed to inform Cecil Burden, the Elder, about the crime. Now, will we encounter a whole bunch of harpies on our way back? I would have thought so. Not even sure if we've been up all this way. No, we have. This is where, back when we were trying to free Triss, we encountered those other bandits. Were they bandits? I suppose they were bandits. Kinda, sorta. I think it was right over here. I am curious, it's right in this location, as to whether there's anything else over here. I don't remember. We had the opportunity to loot this area before, or if we had to leave immediately after fighting those guys. Well, confirmed. There doesn't appear to be anything here other than, you know, bones, skeletons, the usual, really. So we'll head on back, and the other thing that we'll do this time around is I think that we'll end up going back and trying to focus on the main quest line a bit, because at one point we did think that this Baltimore's Nightmare thing might have been one of the primary quests, because it wasn't really clear what exactly this Baltimore guy was all about. But we did, of course, later realize that it was, in fact, a side quest. Now I just want to make sure we're actually headed back to town. And not going to make that simple for me, because we're not actually showing up on the mini-map, or on the full-blown map. At this point, we're still too far out in the middle of nowhere, but I think I recognize where we are now. I think we're going in the right direction. Also, Necker/Harpies here, but looks like we may get off easy this time, possibly. Troll should be over here. It's, oh, nope. Sorry. I meant to sheathe the sword. Do you guys have anything to tell us about?
Ked when is sour, ked when is shy.
Okay. Sounds right.
Me think, bother not.
Okay. Not bad. We'll head back. And we still, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, have all the ingredients for Saskia's cure, and yet we have not turned those things in yet. So, you know, theoretically, Saskia is on death's door right now, and we have all the means to prevent her from suffering an ill fate, and yet we have not yet done so. I know this is also not technically the correct direction, but it's weird to me because we've now spent a fair amount of time in this area down here by the quarry, and yet we still haven't figured out what the whole magic or danger thing is, I don't think. Nor have we concluded why there are a bunch of locked doors here, unless one of the keys that we recently picked up also applies here, which is kind of what I'm wondering. Okay. So it may be that there's still a lot more for us to do here. I'm a little surprised by that, given how it seems like we've been in the Bergen area for a while here in Chapter 2. So I would have thought that we might have been wrapping things up. I mean, granted, we are, as we were just saying, pretty close to being able to turn in the cure for Saskia, but I think that that is only just the beginning of that component, because there was the whole ceremony thing at Lochmoyne that it seemed like was about to happen, and it seemed like that was going to be a big thing with a whole bunch of kings and sorceresses and whoever else, a bunch of important people. And my assumption was that we would probably end up wanting to go there. And I think that may end up being what happens after we end up talking to Philippa. Yes, there's place power here. Is it terribly relevant at the moment? Probably not. But who knows? Okay, we do need to put away the sword now. That much is for certain. And I was floating this idea several times, really, in the past. But I don't feel great about just handing over...
Hey. Hello.
Hello to you, too. I don't feel great about just handing over a bunch of very powerful items to Philippa when now is not exactly the time when I'm feeling most trustful of all the sorceresses, especially given all the things that we recently learned about Sheila. Is this technically the correct direction? I think this is sort of the way in which we go to get to the northern gate. Is not really what we're trying to do here. So I may have autopiloted in the incorrect direction, but let's see if we can course correct a bit. And by course correct, I mean go in a circle. Because yeah, I was like, oh, I remember on one previous occasion when we wanted to go to a specific spot, we had to do this big loop around, go up the stairs, double back a bit, and only then could we actually make it up to the place we wanted to be. But as I said, I think that's actually the northern gate and not when we're trying to get to Philippa, when that's the case. I think we can just go straight through the middle of town like this. Pretty sure that is the case. Oh, we should probably talk to Cecil first, actually, before we forget. Because it does seem as though there is still one more piece to the Baltimore nightmare, and that is just informing him that what happened happened. Don't be expecting for this merchant who's right next door to show up anytime soon. Oh, is he right here? He's hanging out outside. Oh, we did? We killed the Harpy Queen? I know we killed a bunch of Harpies, but I don't actually remember a Harpy Queen. I know we picked up one of those side quests from the notice board last episode. We should have been doing that a while back. But that'll be next.
By the pricks of the male gods, Master Baltimore's notes! Where did you get them?
I discovered his vault near the troll's lair. By the way, Thorak, your new rune master, is dead. He and his 2 apprentices have left for a better world.
What? How did it happen?
Thorak murdered Baltimore. There's enough evidence in the notes I just gave you.
Thanks, Witcher. A reward for your labors. It's not much, but I'll be needing funds to appoint and equip a new rune master now.
Nice. Okay. I think we got some experience out of that as well. We did. Almost enough to level, but not quite. Man, this is actually really weird. It seems as though we just got some items because we are suddenly overweight. Whoa! We got what appears to be a pretty awesome steel sword here. More damage than what we currently have. Has vitality. Damage reduction on block. Huh. That's an interesting one. Stun. We don't have that on our existing sword. It has a higher bleed chance. The only thing we're losing is that 6% chance for knockdown, but I think that is more than worthy of replacing. Also, Thorax key? Oh, so this is the guy who was the murderer. And we might be able to use that key to unlock the building that he was standing in front of, which is right nearby, but I also don't think that we turned in the Harpy Queen quest, so I would have preferred if you had stayed out here, Cecil. I do recognize that we are now overweight, but now that we're in town, we probably should sell some of our stuff or stash some of our stuff.
Job done. I'm here for my pay.
You killed the Harpy Queen.
I mean, we didn't say that was the job we were talking about, but nice to know that you're a mind reader. 50 orens. Alright, real game changer. Also, sorry, Cecil, you are going nowhere. More importantly, that is enough for a level, which means that we can start looking at... I thought we were headed in this direction. Either taking the improved sword damage upgrade, which, like I was saying before, the 5% damage upgrade doesn't sound so great, especially a ways back when we probably first saw this. 5% of the, like, 10 to 12 damage that we were dealing at the beginning of the game was like, I mean, I'm pretty sure you would round that down to nothing, so that didn't exactly seem terribly notable. Now at 15, that might be enough to be worth doing, but I think this was the primary thing we were looking for, is having the ability to attack multiple opponents simultaneously. So I think this is probably still something that we would prioritize over getting a little bit of extra damage on the sword, and then vitality maybe the next way in which we go. We'll see. Let me just make sure I'm actually highlighting the thing I want to be highlighting. Whirl? Yes. Okay. Nice. And then, yeah, okay. It's gonna say that makes sense that the next upgrade would be bumping up the damage from 50 to 100% for the neighboring enemies. That's probably still the next best thing. We can't trade with you, Cecil, can we? We cannot.
See you, Governor.
You're the governor. We are not the governor. Don't say that. It's just objectively false. Now, there used to be a trader up here where Thorak was not long ago. There does still appear to be someone over there, so I'm kind of hoping that we can sell some of our stuff to that guy, and then that would be the quickest and most efficient way to offload some of this weight. And then I suspect that the key that we got will open this door right here. Okay, great. And in fact, trade. Oh. Have we read this? I don't know if we've read that. Okay, we'll do that in a second. Try not to sell that to the tradesman. And I think it's probably a safe bet to sell the Kedweni Blacksword. I do see that the Kedweni Blacksword does have 2 of the circles, whereas the Durnian Lightsword, which oh no, that's the... Okay, that's not the sword that we just picked up. I was gonna say, if the Kedweni Blacksword has 2 crafting slots and the one that we just picked up that we were praising only has 1, then maybe, just maybe, that was reason to still hold on to the Kedweni Blacksword, but that is not the case. So we will not do that. I think the primary thing that we want to offload, though, would likely be... We could do a little bit of our cloth. But I don't think that's the main thing. I think that the main thing will be... Hold on. It will be clear soon. Essence of Death. That's certainly, from finding all the rates, we've started to accumulate a fair amount of that. It's not terribly heavy, but it appears to be pretty darn valuable. So, it's still pretty darn valuable. What I was thinking, though, was the exorbitant amount of HARPY materials, like the 1,611 orans worth of feathers that we have. Probably selling some of those. Like, we'll hold on to a few of each, but I think we can get rid of a ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous amount of weight there. You see that was like 30 or 40 pounds? 30 or 40 weight units worth of HARPY materials. Sure, we'll get rid of some of the eyes as well. We do probably still want to hold on to some of them as crafting materials for the future, but this one right here is going to be amazing for our wallet. You know, over 1,000 orans. No big deal. Never mind that it's several orders of magnitude more than we just got from turning in that quest to the governor. So I believe we are now rich. We can have a fair amount of necrophage materials. Might want to sell a few of those. As we continue to shed more weight, which is something that we did a little bit of in the past, but definitely was still a bit overdue. Okay. I'm looking at what is weighing us down the most, more than anything. Twine. I don't think we need that much twine. It's sad that twine is weighing us down. That's a little absurd, but at least to a certain extent, that was the case. Sure, sell a little bit of the Necker Teeth. Are we gonna break 10,000 orans here? I don't think so. I don't think so. But it is a thought that is crossing my mind. I don't quite think we have enough stuff here to make that happen. But I think we're in much better shape now. Both from a physical and weight standpoint. Okay. So let's see if we can actually go through here. We can. So we may have a bunch of stuff that we're about to be able to resell. Robust yellow meteorite sword. And a whole bunch of orans, actually, as well. That sounds pretty amazing. We do have some yellow meteorites, so we may be able to craft that already. I don't know if it's worth holding on to the yellow meteorite to see if is there something even better than robust that we'll see as an option in the future? Possibly. If we pick up anything super obvious that we should offload there, like, say any weapons that we don't really want, that would weigh us down. No, we still have Harpy, and I think that is justifiable to hold on to. I guess we do want that extra damage against the Harpies. The other thing, though, how good is this? Adrenaline generation on hitting foe. We have not seen much of any of that yet. The damage, I think, is very similar. It's actually considerably less than the sword that we just picked up. Wait, Guardian? Hold on a second. This is a sword in The Witcher 1. Is it not? And I'm pretty sure we carried it over from Witcher 1 to Witcher 2, and it was nowhere near this good. What the heck, game? You saying that our version was not great, and now suddenly we get it later from The Witcher 2, and for that reason, we're gonna make it that much better? I don't know about that. But anyways, there was that quest item, though. This. That we just picked up. I thought there was something else that we saw as well. Confirmation of receipt of chalice. Oh dear. I received the ordered chalice and am forwarding the first payment as agreed. Know, however, that the ornamentation was sloppily executed. The object as a whole looks shoddy and is hardly identical to the original. Oh. So was it for framing purposes, if it's trying to be an imitation of the original? Because I do remember we got the information about the design plans for the chalice that Saskia used when she got poisoned. And then we asked this very craftsman, Thorak, as to what he thought about it. And he was like, oh, it's terrible. Who would ever do that? And he was involved either in a phony, as this might be suggesting, or maybe the original, and that was just him trying to cover his tracks. But the item ultimately serves its purpose and my needs. You will receive the remainder of your remuneration immediately after the council. That was the meeting in which Saskia got poisoned, was it not? Olcan. Ah, that's actually not Thorak. I assumed it would be Thorak. Oh, but I suppose Thorak was the one making it. Yeah, so we saw the person who had the design plans that we picked up when we were in the human district. Thorak was then the person to actually make the chalice, and then Olcan was the person who was the one commissioning that deal. One paying the monies. I thought there was something else, though, that we recently got. Hunter's armor, I think we got at the end of the previous episode from Thorak, and it turns out it's not really anywhere near as good as I was hoping it might be. Just 10 armor. I think reduction from magic damage 3% is better than what we currently have on our Armor of Lochmoin. But other than that, our current armor is definitely better. A lot more, almost double the armor rating, so I think that alone probably makes it more meaningful to hold on to. And so I think from here, we're in pretty good shape to move forward, unless we can find that dude. Harpy's nested. On inaccessible rocky ledges, Geralt could not climb their abode, so he reasoned that some Witcher technology might prove useful. He decided to use harpy traps. Oh. Okay. So if we keep on moving forward, then we might miss out on the harpy contract, which is a little unfortunate, given how many harpies we have slain thus far, but that's kind of what we get from taking forever to actually pick up the official quest there. In Olcan's room... Okay, so Olcan's room was the place where we originally found those notes. So, I suppose Olcan was both the designer and the commissioner. I'm wondering if maybe we should pay him one more visit before we talk to Philippa. That way, in case things start moving forward quickly, and we're trying to figure out who it was who did all the poisoning and what have you, we have all the information we can get on that. We're prepared. Not the... No, the human district is lower down.
Don't try anything.
It's over here to the side, I think.
Hello, Chief.
But that is dangerous for me to think that I know that. Okay. Is this our guy? I know... room we're looking for is this one. We weren't able to talk to this guy on the previous occasion that we went through here. He is not here at the moment, it would seem. Is he just chilling outside? Is he the person who just tried to run away? I think it's this guy.
Let's get rid of the witches.
I still don't think we can talk to him unless any of these people will fill us in on the details. No, thanks, man.
Damnation.
Next door neighbor? Who may be the person that just walked directly in front of us? How rude. Like we are technically walking into your home, so I suppose we're really the ones being rude, but that wasn't the question. Okay, so unfortunately, it does seem as though it is impossible to speak to the person right now who was potentially the one who tried to have Saskia murdered. But we have a lot of information. So I think we are certainly in much better shape from an investigation standpoint than we were a while ago. So that's an encouraging sign.
So, noted over. I'm on my way to the...
And I think that means that we are ready to talk to Philippa. Let's save just in case stuff goes down. Because stuff might be about to go down. Seeing as how we are about to give a powerful sorceress the last of the ingredients she needs to do, supposedly, what she needs to do to make a powerful potion to restore Saskia's life, but as for whether she's going to do something else with that remains to be seen.
Your turn, sorceress. I have all you need to cure Saskia.
Let's get to work. Scoia'tael, stand aside.
I'm on Saskia. Now she's gonna turn into monstrosity. Gonna turn her into like a werewolf or something. Thanks, Philippa. That's not what we asked. What the heck? Okay. Maybe we should have verified that that was in fact what Philippa was supposed to do first, before we just let her stab Saskia in the chest. Okay, the rose. Okay, really? Really, Philippa? Okay, okay, I think
Favorite type of magic. Lesbomancy.
Okay. Think you made your point, Philippa.
What is your name? What do they call you?
Cynthia was what you were about to say.
Saskia.
Do you remember what happened?
Just about to say Cynthia.
Poison. They poisoned me. What day is it? What of the battle? Henselt and his army.
Calm yourself. You will have your battle yet. I shall go and announce that you're once again among the living.
I don't
Do
know
I
if
owe you
it's
my life?
And Philippa.
the same
Geralt.
Saskia.
I promise to return the favor. Have you succeeded in lifting the curse?
No,
Oh,
but we're
no.
almost ready to try. Vandergrift's sword. It's one of the conveyors of the power.
Oh, true.
You should have taken it. It's scrap iron to me, a sword like any other.
The Scoia'tael wouldn't let anyone but Philippa near you, and they wouldn't have let even her take your famous sword. I'll try to remove the curse soon.
Why do you aid me?
I have my reasons. Chief among them being that I'm currently wearing a HARPY nose. Yeah, that's a little strong. Although we are technically trying to side more with the Scoia'tael this time around, I'm just not sure if we want to be that committal about that.
I'm a witcher. Curses are my hobby.
I wouldn't have
See.
phrased it that way.
The famous neutrality.
That too. Besides which, I don't believe any revolution can ultimately be successful. A very important rule. No ideal is worth dying for.
I understand. Good luck with the curse, and thank you again.
Okay. She's back, seemingly. One moment while I steal all of her loot. Okay, we are supposed to talk to Philippa again. I'm kind of curious. I might want to talk to Saskia again, just to see if there's anything else we can ask her about, given how we've heard so much about her, and this might actually be the only opportunity we've had to have an open conversation with her. And really pretty low-end crafting materials, so we probably should just not even bother picking these up. I thought I saw a staircase, but I might have just been looking at this out of the corner of my eye and filling in the rest. Where'd you go? Where did you go? Maybe there is a staircase, because you just... Somewhere over here. Where did you go? Huh? You disappeared on me. Actually, though. Okay. She's probably in there somewhere, and I'm just being blind right now. Okay. We're back out. We are technically supposed to speak to Philippa, who I suppose is likely to tell us that we are primed to go lift this curse. I only have 2 out of 4 artifacts? Need the sword, that's one of them, but... Oh, Philippa supposedly has the last one as well. Okay. So between everyone, we have all of them. Although, I think we actually took the sword from Saskia. That might have been a reason why we would want to talk to her there. So this is an occasion where, like, if we wanted to be going full-blown completionist style, then we would probably stop and make sure that we cleared out the Harpy nest before talking to Philippa here, because we might not have the opportunity to do this after the fact, but I think we live with that.
I'm ready to lift the curse. I've got all the artifacts.
Get to work then, Witcher.
I'll need your help. I need to find the right ghosts, somehow.
They will find
The
you.
right ghosts?
The aura of the artifacts will lure them. Let them think, speak, and act. Then you'll know what to do. Geralt, there is something else out there. I scanned the battlefield and noticed the visitor's ghost. It's different from the others. It has changed.
Visitor?
A drog. I expected as much.
Good luck,
Okay.
Witcher.
Care for a little more information, perhaps? Take part in the ghostly battle within the mist? Say, also, on that subject, Philippa, are you maybe going to turn into that magical owl thing again and delete 90% of the rates like you did last time? Last 2 times? Because, you know, that might be kind of helpful if we're just gonna run straight into that ghostly mist thing that wants to kill us every time we do something like that. I'm assuming that this is just directing us out of town. Yeah. and back toward the primary mist area. So I suppose that does still
I
mean
had a dream.
that we may
were
have the
mining up
opportunity
face of
to
pride like
take out those harpies. We are technically supposed to use harpy traps to do that, and I'm not even sure if we have those right now. I don't think we do. So we would need to craft them, I believe. Is that technically alchemy, even though it's not really a potion? I think so. Otherwise, we may need to buy them directly, but after having sold all those harpy feathers, I think that is more than feasible for us to do. Yeah, I don't think we have the ability to craft any harpy traps at the moment. You are a trader. Might you have the precise thing that we are looking for? This is actually pretty good armor. This is actually really good armor. We just ignored that before? I think it is similar in power to the armor that we currently have, because the armor we currently have has 18 armor. I don't think it has as much vitality. I don't think it has the reduction of damage from magic, so depends which things you prioritize over which to determine as for whether our current armor or this armor is best. I think it's probably close enough that we'd be okay. This is also a pretty nice sword. Blue meteorite. I think I'm fine settling for our current sword as well, though, given how we did just get a pretty significant upgrade there, so I'm comfortable sticking with what we have. Maybe just quickly offload some of the crafting materials, like the cloth that we picked up. Maybe a little bit more than we really need. And I thought we picked up some leather as well, which is also something that has weighed us down in the past, so I just want to be conscious of not loading up on that like crazy. We have the opportunity to offload some of that now that we are in town. Check the inn and see if perhaps the innkeeper, for some reason, is selling harpy traps. That would be a little bit odd.
Look, another one.
But I wouldn't entirely rule it out.
How can I help you?
In the past, I think we've seen innkeepers with, 100% junk. So, maybe not. There should be many traders out here. One of whom must have it, right? So, not the tavern keeper, not the mysterious trader dude there, but surely one of these people. That's what we're looking for. You look like you mostly have knowledge of earth elementals. I don't even know what that would give us. Knowledge on Bruxay. We've not seen any Bruxay yet. They were all over The Witcher 1. So that does make me a little cautious, make me wonder if we might be about to run into some of them. Drowners. We have information on drowners, so I think we're fine there. This rock. Significantly increases critical effects, reduces resistances. Okay. Catball. Regeneration of vitality at the expense of vigor and damage dealt. That is interesting. You have a lot of potions here. Crafting materials for potions. Do you have crafting materials? Or crafting recipes, I guess I should say, for the harpy trap? I swear, I saw it somewhere when we were talking to previous tradespeople. I couldn't tell you where, more specifically. The book on harpies. Book on bulbors, we've run into several of those. Succubi. Uh-oh. Trolls and trolling. Groggers. That name also sounds familiar, but I don't remember if this was a Witcher 1 enemy or if that's an enemy that we've already seen in The Witcher 2. Rot Fiends, we've seen many of them. Book on Immortelle. Drogs. Oh, Droggers are the... Yes, we have seen them. There's the big armor monsters. Fontar Valley. That'd be kind of interesting to learn more about that. I swear, there are a bunch of Witcher 1 throwbacks here. Or callbacks, allusions, whatever you want to... references? References is probably the word I'm looking for. Because we did this in The Witcher 1. We needed something like this. Royal Dynasty, Special Forces, Valley of Flowers. Lots of things that would be interesting from a lore standpoint to have a better understanding of, but it's not really what we're looking for. We've got a lot of things that were very similar to what we wanted, but not quite what we wanted.
Greetings!
What's the rush?
Might you have such an item, perhaps? These are specifically for... oh, Draugr armor. Also looks pretty solid. Leather... Dragon scale armor, epic. That looks pretty sweet. Part of me, though, is feeling like the longer we wait, the more we'll be sure that we're investing our resources in a valuable piece of equipment, not something that we're going to use for one battle and then immediately find something better. So that's kind of my fear, especially at this point in Chapter 2, when we're probably fairly far along, is I do not... oh, that jump. Where do we find the harpy traps?
Greetings!
Maybe it's not worth it after all. If we actually make that our active quest, does anything happen to help us out here? Using that some Witcher technology might prove useful, decided to use harpy traps, so he did. And that would be... leading us... nowhere. No quest indicators to drop any hints for us. There is also supposedly... oh no, that other tradesman we're seeing right there is the person who... well, we talked to first, the mysterious tradesman. So I think, unfortunately, maybe I went right over it, that is certainly possible, in which case let me know in the comments.
What's
But
going on?
I'm not seeing the recipe for harpy traps or the ability to purchase them outright, at least not from any of the traders in here. There is also that trader who's a little bit outside of the city, but I don't think she sells much, so that might be worth checking just to be 100% certain that we've covered all of our bases, because certainly there's got to be somewhere where we can pick them up, right? But at least as of right now, I'm not really seeing it, so we may or may not end up choosing to go that route in the next episode. If we don't, then of course we'll be headed straight into the mist, and we'll be seeing if we can lift the curse. So with that, hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one.